So before I start talking about my class, I'm going to give you a little background on me. I grew up in Redondo Beach, up near LA, but I've been in San Diego since '91 and in Encinitas since 2002. We have two boys, ages 16 and 19. Kern's a junior at SDA. Cole is a sophomore at Maricosta. We love to surf and golf and fish and go to sporting events. And I've been a teacher since 2000, and I've been at Oakcrest since 2007. Love to birdwatch and cook, and got my bachelor's at San Diego State University, a bachelor's of science in biology, and a master's in education. Love to travel, especially surfing. I've been to Indonesia, Fiji, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Hawaii, Mexico, and this past summer I went on a surf trip to Waco, Texas. Yes, in the middle of Waco, or middle of Texas, there's a wave pool, and it was amazing. I highly recommend it if you surf. There's my son surfing a wave in Waco, in the middle of Texas. And we love to golf, and since I've been in Encinitas since 2002 and have worked at Oakcrest since 2007, I ran into students all the time in restaurants, D Street, Beacons, the Cardiff Reefs, George's Seaside all the time. And it's really cool, especially when I see them as adults and how they've grown and what they're up to. And it's pretty neat to live in the same town you teach in. And yes, that is me, age 13, 8th grade, 1983, very shy, awkward, insecure kid. I had a rough time in middle school, and I think that helps me be very empathetic with a lot of the kids, because middle school is a very hard transition, and I definitely understand that. Okay, I need your help to keep schools open, and this is in regards to COVID. None of us want to go back to distance learning or what we were doing last year. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't want to get COVID, mostly because I'll have to teach from home. I'm vaccinated. I'm not too concerned about getting sick. I'm more concerned about having to teach from home for 2 weeks and quarantining. I don't want to do that. I want to be in the classroom, and your students need to be in the classroom. I think that's so important. And that's why I'm very strict about COVID, and I've taken a lot of precautions. Just to let you know, I have 3 doors in my classroom. They're open at all times, rain or shine. And I did this last spring semester, when we came back in person, and at times it got cold in there. So it's important to keep an eye on the weather to make sure your son or daughter dresses comfortably for the conditions. It's tolerable. Luckily, we live in Southern California, so it doesn't get too bad. And the main thing, though, is that the air is constantly moving. It's getting recycled. I have 3 air circulators in there. I have a big air purifier, and I'm strict with the masks. So we have a lot of layers of mitigation in my classroom to really reduce the chances of transmission, so we can all stay in the classroom where we belong. Also, when students don't have a mask, they forget or there's break, we have masks to give them, but they don't always fit students, because middle school kids are adult size, and some kids are very, very small. So feel free to donate, preferably N95, KN95, or KF94 masks, preferably smaller ones. I've been buying my own to give to kids, but I can only sustain that for so long. So that'd be greatly appreciated if you can donate there. So, and then just please make sure your student has a mask that fits well. That really helps too. Okay, my class. One of the most important things is their science notebook. We just started putting them together. They're pretty cool. I recommend you check them out throughout the year. They're interactive. Make sure your student takes good care of it. It's good for organization. Make sure they bring it to class every day. And it's interactive in that it's a work in progress. They can redo things, they make mistakes, they revise things, they can use it on tests, and it really models how scientists work in the real world. And I tell them to get an 8.5 by 11 spiral notebook, preferably about 100 pages. And they don't want to tear any paper out of it to use for other classes. We need it to glue in their work. Okay, what do we cover in 8th grade science? Right now we're on Unit 1, which is the nature of science and engineering. We do a lot of engineering throughout the year in this class, aside from the science. So we're looking at the differences between science and engineering right now, and then we'll lead into physics. And we're asking how and why do things move. And then we'll take that physics out into space and look at how objects out in space move, and we'll look at the seasons and look at Earth's place in the solar system and within our galaxy and the universe. We look at waves and magnetism out in space, and then come back down to Earth and look at how waves move and transfer energy and transfer information, like through our cell phones. And then we finish up with changes in life on Earth over time and human impacts. So how does life on Earth deal with short and long-term changes? And my class is hands-on and inquiry-based. So I typically present the students with a problem or some kind of phenomena. They show me a cool YouTube clip, or I do a demonstration that grabs their attention. It's a descriptive event, and they want to know why that happens. And so I say, well, figure it out. So I facilitate them to investigate or research the problem, and then test the problem through hands-on activities, and then go back and revise their prior knowledge, revise their hypotheses and their work, and then this is how I assess them. What I don't do, it's not kind of like traditional class like you and I grew up in. I don't lecture anymore. We don't do note-taking. They're doing a lot of the learning on their own with facilitation from me, and then clarifying misconceptions. And I have found over the course of my career, they learn so much more this way by taking control and ownership of their own learning. I don't have really big tests. It's more like frequent small assessments or checkpoints. And typically they don't have a lot of homework because they're getting it all done in class. How to reach me? Email. That's really the best way. That's the quickest, most efficient, best way to get a hold of me. But if you need to call, my extension is 3356. And that's going to be it. We have a cool new science building. Hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, email me. And thanks for having awesome kids.